Welcome, tarot card readers. April here on Tarot and Witchery with another installment of my Scary Tarot Card series. I have 8 cards in this series, 8 videos. Check them all out. These cards are cards that I'm calling scary, but really they're just thematic elements in them that are more challenging. A lot of times these cards sort of trip us up when they come in a reading. Maybe you're new to tarot. Even if you've been reading for a while, I'm interested in your feedback on what I have to say about these. These are just ideas for dealing with these cards when they come up in a reading. I'm going to give you lots of examples of these cards and working with them, as well as questions that you can ask yourself when these cards come up. So you may want to get a piece of paper and a pen to write down anything that interests you. In the meantime, let's get to it. You may have guessed what the scary tarot card is from the thumbnail. Aren't you lucky? Because the Ten of Swords has come to visit you in your reading. What a great card this is. Some of you are saying, what the heck? I actually really like this card. I hope my mic is not making a bunch of noise. I actually really like this card a lot when it comes up in a reading, and it's because I have an Aries sun. And so this card is a culmination card. The tens are culmination. But it's also a card of endings, which means a new beginning. And boy, do I love new beginnings. I just love new beginnings. This card, though, is really filled, well, all the tens are filled with so much promise for a better tomorrow. You'll notice that the tens, this little aside here, the tens in the tarot that are of masculine energy, in other words, swords and wands, are much more uncomfortable. And so it's interesting for you to note, go and look through and look at which cards in the minor arcana are less comfortable in masculine signs or feminine signs, and why you think that is. So in the tens, we find that the masculine energies are less comfortable here. They're definitely much more, paint a very vivid picture. So again, this is an ending and a new beginning. Here we have the typical Rider-Waite, and this is just the original tarot that I have, that I love. And he's pierced down. He's pierced by a body of water. This looks like maybe some waves, or is that like a body of water? And then maybe, yeah, it's a body of water, dark skies up here with, is this sunset or sunrise? Who knows? Mountains in the background. So there's a lot of territory out ahead. And so then in this one, in the New Vision Tarot, we have it from the other angle. And we see that somebody is walking up from this direction. So you can see them when we look at the person. Did they put the swords in? Are they just a dark figure? There are stormy skies over here. It's stormy over here. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, if they are the person who did it or not. But it's really not important who did it when we get to this point. The point is that it's over. And I like that. One thing I like about the Ten of Swords is the sort of the finality about it. Here I am jumping in to say, hey, have you seen my playlist section? There's all sorts of cool stuff on there. And while you're at it, you may want to sign up for my newsletter down below, where you get access to my free learning library that has all sorts of PDF printables about it. Here in the Abyss Tarot, you do see the figure in here walking towards them. Are they going to liberate them? Are they there to help him? Look, he's reaching out. Help me. In this one, it looks like his clothes have pinned him to the ground. He's not pierced by the swords. Again, when you get to this point, we've come to the culmination of the suit. And I believe that the tens in the minor arcana actually contain all of the lessons 1 through 9, or actually 2 through 9. We have in the aces, we have the potential of the suit. And in the tens, we have all the lessons that have been learned. So when you look at this, you're looking at the lessons that you've learned in regards to your question and how they're coming to a head, how they are culminating. And again, as I said, and here we have the Fifth Spirit Tarot. The bird is dead. It's pierced by all these little pins. But then up here, we see the promise of new life. It's the egg and the bird being reborn. So whenever we reach the culmination of a suit, even when we're in like the happy family card, right? When we're in the cups or the pentacles and it just looks, oh, look how good that is. There's always a seed of dissatisfaction. I think with the Ten of Swords, the dissatisfaction is just pretty obvious what it is. And, maybe you're not even dissatisfied. Maybe you're like, I'm so dang glad this is over. And, the biggest thing that I think is to really look at what have I learned? What in the sum and total of this moment have I learned about myself? What kind of wisdom have I gained? What is it that I feel pierced by? What aspect of myself is pierced and dying? Like, that's a really important thing. Like, what in me is dying? Sometimes you need to stop and grieve it. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're like dead and gone, or yes, I get it. But, knowing what in me is pierced. I like this one. He's like in a coffin and there's just all of these going through. I mean, it's just like he's trapped in there and there's no getting out. There's no way around this moment. I think that's the other thing that I like about this is it's kind of obvious. Like, there's no way around this. I get it. It's just, it's over, it's dead, and I need to really accept that. So some of my favorite cards, the Star Tarot here, this actually reminds me of the sun ceremony. I think it's the Lakota that do it. I could be wrong. Where they go through this huge ceremony where they feast. I mean, they feast. They fast and they pray and they just sequester themselves. And then they have these days of dancing while they're fasting. And then finally they are pierced and hung. I know that sounds really weird, but the idea is to take on, like, to push the physical limitations and to enter the spirit world and to take on what they need to for the tribe. And so, your tribe can be yourself, but this reminds me of that, of being pierced to the core, like really going to that point where you willingly lay yourself down as a sacrifice. Like you decide, I'm letting go of this. I'm going to die to this. And I'm going to die to this knowing that once I push through this, there's going to be this type of rebirth. Another of my favorites, Everyday Witch Tarot. What I love about this one, there's somebody running away from the scene of the crime and he's reaching for the broom. Like he's gonna fly away. He's reaching for the broom, and back here, is it the sunset or the sunrise? And I like this because, again, the sun is setting on an aspect of ourselves, an aspect of our lives, something that we need to let go of, something that we need to honor that is passing, and then also something that we need to honor that is rising within ourselves. So, where is the sun setting in my life? Good question. Where is the sun setting in my life? And where is the sun rising because of this? We know that the sun sets and rises at different horizons. So it's a whole new horizon. Another favorite, Tarot of the Abyss. They actually have 2 cards in this deck for this. You get to choose which one you want. I love this one. Here he is. He's looking eye to eye with the owl. Wisdom. Sinking into his wisdom. Really look at that face. It's so expressive. Really looking eye to eye at everything that has been learned, all the wisdom that has been gathered from this situation, and being just, completely unafraid. Just really diving into this relationship. And there's something passing between them. This moment brings something profound. And I love that he's older, like he is wise himself, wise enough to look this in the face and accept it, to really know that it is a natural part of the seasons and cycles of our life. And I talked about that in the 9s, that the things don't come to stay, they come to pass. But here it's like already knowing that. There's a restfulness in this. It's not as painful. There's a real willingness to face oneself. So how willing am I to face myself in this situation right now? As usual, I've got the 10 of Swords here, and it's just beautiful. This is Tarot of Transformations. Again, there's a link below for these. I love, love, love this deck. And this is about what we gain by from going through the lesson of this card, and it's leaving the story. You know, that's really hard. Sometimes we've built a whole story around something in our life. So this could be really big, but you're leaving the story. You're choosing not to be a part of that story anymore. You're choosing to remove yourself from that story. It's clearly come to an end. You're sacrificing what might have been there. You're allowing it to die. You're laying down that sense of self, knowing that there's a chance to be reborn afresh, anew, and really honoring the process that you are in. So again, if you haven't put down below your favorite 10 of Swords card and the deck that it's from, please do that down below. And if you can find some swords, put some swords in the comment box down below. And do me a favor, if you made it this far, like the video. Again, if you haven't seen the rest of this series, check it out and let me know what you think about me doing these types of series. Until we meet again, I hope that you understand that the 10 of Swords is not just an ending, but a new beginning, one that comes when you are brave enough to face the wisdom of the situation that is passing.